Okay, so we're on to our second one of the vlogs. No, it isn't even a vlog, it's a screener. Okay, so this is my screener about Handlebars by Flobots. We were asked to look at Goodwin's theory of analysis, which is his sort of theory of what a music video will always contain. And it doesn't always have to contain all 6 points that he makes, but it will always use at least one. And we were tasked to choose 2 videos of our choice and write about one and do a screen on the other. So this is my screener about my other one. If you want to see what Goodwin's theory of analysis is on my blog, you can. There is a link to or a page that dictates what it says. But yeah, so we're gonna start looking at Handlebars. So I've got it here, so I'm gonna play it so I can talk about it then. One of the big things straight away in this video, it's not performance. Goodwin theorised that in a rock band, which Flobots would be counted as, I think, sort of an indie kind of rock band for most of their music, that a lot of rock bands tend to include the playing of the instruments, so they'll include stage time, which if you watch big rock bands such as like the Foo Fighters or Queens of the Stone Age, they will feature a lot of them playing the music, whereas in this it's a full cartoon really, and it doesn't show any of them playing any instruments at all. It's all, what's the word? Like it basically shows us, it illustrates the lyrics perfectly, which once again is another thing that Goodwin had said, in that there will be a representation or relationship between the lyrics and the visuals, which in this, it literally, everything that the singer says is basically happening on screen. And we'll go into this later. There's a few sort of lines later which definitely show this. But yeah, most of it is all of it's in cartoon, but it's like a weird kind of, it's not like 2D cartoon, but it's not fully 3D. It looks like it's been sketched into 3D, but not finished. Which, for the song, again, it's a relationship between lyrics and visuals. The whole song is about sort of, well, anarchy really. The story behind it is that they go from being friends to one of them ends up dying at the end. So it's quite a dark theme, which once again, Goodwin had said that most bands will have some form of reoccurring theme across their videos or across their music, and in this, all of their videos, or the 3 or 4 that I've watched, have some relationship to the idea of anarchy and sort of bringing down the establishment, and a lot of it is towards American anarchy. So if you watch the video for Rise by Flobots, they're all wearing these sort of not balaclavas, but bandana masks with the American flag on them. So it's all quite a lot of the music's got a dark feel, and yeah. So yeah, we see that they hug, and yeah. So this shows that they are good friends, but also that they're leaving each other, and this is just sort of really showing my point that it's quite a dark feel to this. Like, it starts nice and then ends rather badly. So another part of the showing that the lyrics and the visuals have a relationship is literally when he says something about cracked. Oh yeah, so he says even when the paths are all crookedy, and at this exact point the camera is looking at this guy's feet and the path is completely just cracked. So there's not even really much of a metaphor behind it. It's literally showing what the artist is saying. So that really does appear a lot. And I'd say as well, the other thing that he said is the actual music and I think, did he say music and visuals or lyrics and music? Either way, the beginning of the song, it starts with violin. No, it doesn't. It starts with like strings, I think it is, I guess. It's just, it's sort of plucking. It's quite sort of calm and that, and it's talking about sort of riding a bike and sort of things that you do as kids. And then towards the end, it all escalates and the visuals get really big, and the colour sort of fades into just black, white, and red. And the music gets all like intense. There's a lot of trumpets, there's a lot of brass instruments that really sort of create a large sort of harrowing echo throughout the music, or throughout the ending. And as this happens, the lyrics get intensified. They start talking about Holocaust and sort of ending the world, sort of, and the fact that they can control whatever they want, which, yeah, you get a really good feel that Flobots are all for bringing down the establishment. So, yeah, sorry, I had to play the music a little bit there. But, yeah, it keeps going, and he talks about that he can do something with the magazine, and at that point there's a large billboard with a sexually suggestive woman on it, obviously referring to pornographic magazines or adult magazines, saying that sort of that's a large point in, I guess, American culture at this point. And then he goes on to talk about cars and say he can make an engine run on gasoline. I can't remember what the actual lyrics are. But at this point, a nice like Mustang comes in, and you see that. So it still carries on with the whole Goodman's theory of the lyrics and the visuals really do have a relationship. Oh, that's the other bit. When he says gasoline, the guy flicks out a cigarette and it lands, and you sort of see a spark. And this one isn't like directly related, but having the idea of gasoline in your head and thinking of fire, you always get sort of a bit panicked, and this is where the song really starts to build up. So I think this is where the music begins to change, and the lyrics and everything begin to sort of like really escalate. At the chorus here, it's getting more intense again, and once again, relationship between I Can Lead a Nation with a microphone. He is literally standing there, 2 American flags behind him, talking to some people, and there's just, yeah, he's looking quite like a dictator at this point. Like he's causing a lot of trouble, and he's got a large C logo in the background, which we're never really shown what it means, but we're given the impression that it's bad because it's not physically a well-rounded thing. And then, yeah, once again, a lot of this is it's lyrics and visual representation, because that is all that they've done with this. But I still think it's a really good contrasting video to the other one. Like now it's got to the point is like I can split the atom of a molecule, and we are given this nice representation of a atomic molecule splitting in two, which obviously, in fairness, no, we've got a bit more intertextual reference is another thing that Goodwin had theorised, that videos or music videos will always contain, or most often contain, some form of intertextual referencing. So there's this nice little bit, and it's a trumpet solo. I see the trumpet's kind of like, it's always been seen as like the cavalry coming in, really. And so yeah, it's like everything's got bigger, it's like we're needing more than we've got. And oh yeah, a black bird, it's not actually black, but the bird's black, takes out a white bird, so it's showing the binary opposition and the fact that the dark is taking out the light and that everything's becoming a bit more dark, and then some jets fly over, so it's like, oh, we're going to war now. Like, it's all really escalating with this trumpet solo of, we're bringing in the cavalry now, let's go. There's this really nice picture in this of, we see this sort of big sort of juggernaut kind of guy, and he's whacking people with his baton and he's killing them. And then when a helicopter comes in with a sniper in, there's a bit where you see this guy again, and he's looking really surprised and like genuinely doesn't know what he's doing, and he's quite scared of what's happening. And I think that's a really sort of nice metaphor of, although people are following orders, they don't really know what they're doing. And it's still intertextual reference of, not at the time this is written, but it seems quite, it's definitely got connotations to sort of Cold War era. And it could be seen as sort of maybe the time of Vietnam or something, with things like the My Lai massacre, when people were just acting under orders, doing like atrocious things, and it was just because they were told to do it. And yeah, I think this is like the whole sort of idea of this video of it being very much rebels going against or bringing down the establishment, stopping people, bringing peace, seems very sort of 70s time, with sort of peace protests and stop the bombing, which obviously we saw the atomic symbols earlier. So yeah, there's a bit where they start chanting that they can end the planet in a Holocaust, which is a really graphic image, but at the time that the visuals don't get, I mean they are graphic, but they're cheering that they can do this, while at the same time the leader is still just talking through his microphone, and it really shows that although he's sentenced people to basically die in war, he's sitting back in his ivory tower, sort of just talking to people and just sort of keeping them updated, even though this guy's meant to be the leader. So once again, showing the visuals and the lyrics together, but yeah. So, and then yeah, our main guy dies. At the end, it's actually quite a sad video to it, because you really expect this guy to be able to bring it down, but I think what they're trying to show is that ultimately, no matter how hard people can try, there's not really much of a way of bringing down the establishment, because, well, it's established, it's set there. I'm fully aware that this has been quite a harrowing, sad screener, and I probably should have chosen a happier song. But yeah, so that's that video. Yeah, summary of it though, it's mainly lyrics and visuals that he theorised for this. That plays the whole, it contradicts the idea of rock bands having performance in it, and it also uses intertextual references. So that's half of the 6 that he said about. So yeah, thanks for watching, and go watch one of my happier vlogs, because this has been quite a sad one. So I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I completely forgot to add one of the little bits of Goodwin's. I literally walked back into the room to upload it and saw Goodwin's on the board. The notion of looking, it's also a massive part of this video. We see CCTV cameras everywhere, and the idea of people being spied on is quite strong. Goodwin sort of said that the notion of looking would include the sexualization of the female body, and that is not included at all in this sort of video. Like I said, it's mainly sort of, you'd see it really in pop songs rather than this sort of music. But yeah, I just wanted to add that there is notion of looking as well, so that means I've covered 4 of the 6, and that counts. So yeah, cheers guys.